Hi, welcome to another episode of Photo Tips. This month we're going to kind of continue on with the same topic we had last month, file formats. I didn't have enough time to show you some of the benefits of using the file formats. We mainly discussed some of the technical aspects. Today we're going to load a file, a raw file, that was exposed properly for the foreground, but because there was sky in the background, the sky part was blown out or washed out with no detail. We're going to make two images out of our raw file with two different exposures, one exposed for the sky, one exposed for the foreground, and we'll merge those two together and create one much better image out of it. Let's take a look at how we can accomplish that. Okay, we're going to take a picture that's overexposed for the highlights and perfectly exposed for the darks and the mid-tones and create two images out of it. Again, I'm using the same software we used in the previous episodes. As you can see, the brick area looks normal, but around it, the sky part is overexposed and it's washed out. You can't see any detail. If we move the exposure slider, because we shot this in RAW, we can see what happens when we underexpose the whole image. As you can see, there's cloud detail coming out over here. So what we're going to do is create two images and then merge them and get the best portions of both images to make one good one. So we'll save this one as a JPEG, and we'll call this one dark for lack of a better name. And we'll set this one back to the regular exposure, and we'll call this one light. And these raw files can take a few seconds to work with because there's a lot of data. Okay, so we're finished creating our two copies. As you can see in the thumbnails, they're distinctly different. Let's load them up in actually, we've got it open here. Let's load them up in Photoshop Elements, because again, that's what I'm familiar with. We'll open up Light, and let's open the dark copy, and we'll select all of this one, copy it to the clipboard, and we'll go back to our light version and paste it, and as you can see, it'll make a dark another layer called dark. You can rename these if you like. It doesn't really matter. Actually, okay, you can't rename the original one. At any rate, you can see the difference in the two. So what we're going to do is select the dark layer and take our eraser, set it for a soft edge brush, and you can see we've got the detail in the bright areas of the image. But now, because we underexposed this dark copy, the bricks are too dark. So what we'll do is take our eraser and go through and actually erase the dark copy off of the top of the light copy and keep the portions of the image that we want. For the sake of demonstration, we're going to do a rough edit here, and you could zoom in with your square brush and actually clean up these corners a little bit better. Let's get the rest of it. It's actually kind of fun to play with. And now you can see we've got some corners that need a little bit of work still. Okay, like I said, you could zoom in, change your brush, it'd make a square brush, and actually go in and clean up those corners all the way. But we've got a much more pleasing image now than we had before. Let's take a look at our before and our after. There's our before. You can see no detail in the sky at all. And there's our before and our dark one. And we've merged them together and made one good image with detail all the way around. RAW is, like I said in the previous episode, RAW images are definitely the way to go if you want to get the most out of your photography. A few Photoshop skills don't hurt either. Wow, you got to admit that's a big difference in the before and the after on that shot. While the first one was exposed right for the building, you couldn't see any detail in the sky. Now you've got the best of both in the same image. You know, obviously you take your time and adjust your eraser tool and go in and clean up the edges a little bit better. For the sake of demonstration and time purposes, I did not go into that detail, but just take your time and you can create that image where you can't see that it's been manipulated. Takes a little skill, a little practice, but it's not difficult to accomplish. I hope you enjoyed this segment. If you have any questions or tips or anything I left out, or maybe suggestions for an upcoming episode, as always, drop me a line, give me an email at tmartin@amateurlogic.tv, and I'll do my best to get you an answer. And if you have a suggestion, I'll do my best to get that on in an upcoming episode. Speaking of that, I've got a couple in the bag for some viewers that emailed previously, and tried to get on this month, but I really wanted to follow up with the theme of the RAW files from last month. So look for some of those coming up on the next couple of episodes, and I think you'll be surprised at some of that. There's some fun things coming. I'll see you next month on Photo Tips.